Know better, you might call Bruce the Mouse Strauss a pug, but that description doesn't apply to the mouse because he seems to know exactly what he's doing. He knows that not everybody can be Sugar Ray Leonard or Roberto Duran. At the same time, he knows he's a fighter. So how do you earn a living under those circumstances? Well, you become a professional opponent. And believe me, Mouse has made it an art form. So let's examine the life and times of a boxing opponent.
It's a sad thing, but I am the first and the last of a dead breed. You know, there's no pressure. You know, if you win, that's great. And if you lose, that's all right, too, because no one expected you to win anyway. Actually, winning to me is often, not all the time, but often losing with style, grace, and minimum damage. I don't train, Jay. You know, the way I look at it, no, if you train, you're going to be in condition to go more rounds. If you go more rounds, you're going to have to sustain more punishment, so it's not worth it to me to train. I don't have the ability to install pain on contenders or potential contenders without the use of foul tactics. And I can see how people can confuse what I do with taking a dive, but it ain't like that. You see, I punch as hard as I can for as long as I can. And at that point, if I crack the guy with my best overhand right square in the chin, and all he does is grins, well, you know, then I start looking for that soft spot on the canvas, you know? I was fighting the #1 contender over in Africa once, and he hit me with a pretty good right hand the first round. It didn't hurt that bad, but I figure I'd take an 8 count on one knee, shake it off, and get back up and give him a few more rounds. Now Jay, whilst I was on one knee like this, he pushes the referee out of the way, winds up, and the last thing I remember thinking was, this is really gonna hurt, you know? When other fighters, when they wake up in the locker room, I see this all the time, they ask what happened, you know? But when I wake up in the locker room, I know what happened, you know? Hey, I once fought twice in one night, you know? This was something. I had just gotten knocked out or in a preliminary fight, and as I was waking up in the locker room, I overheard a loud commotion, which was instigated by the fact that one of the main event fighters had gotten cold feet and left, you know? So I approached the promoter with the idea of me changing my trunks and fighting as my twin brother, you know? The guy had nothing to lose, you know, so I got paid twice that night, you know?
What was the outcome of both those fights?
I got knocked out that time too, Jay, you know, but you know, I got paid well.